Yeah, nothing like trying to fix my little clip stick for my phone. Just wants to go sideways. I guess I'm shooting in Dutch today, so it's fine earlier, and now it's being a little bitch, of course. So enjoy to be sideways, I guess, as I can figure this shit out. Probably not. Maybe eventually. We'll see. Oof. All right. I'm gonna go with this. It's on top of my couch here. Ooh, it's not comfortable. All right. What's up, fellas? This is Salty Seaman. Do you want to ask me anything? You guys have anything you want to throw at me? Any questions about anything I've done? Opinions on things going on in the military? Any other random bullshit? What up? Want to talk about some Always Sunny rum ham? I'm here for you. I'm your Huckleberry. Talk about military coffee cups. This one was properly filthy as a cup was, but it's been sitting on a shelf down here in my man cave. I literally probably could have caught the bubonic plague drinking from it, so I had to clean it a little bit. No, it goes against Navy, tradition, but I just don't want to catch the plague. So you got anything in the chat you want to throw at me? Go right ahead. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and ramble on about stupid shit for until I get bored with it. For the record, this is just nicotine vape. I'm not one of the cool kids. I don't have the fun vapes. I'm also in a no fun state, so yeah, those are a little hard to come by. But I will say, it's nice being out of the service sometimes when I do get a little bit more of a fun smokable item. I just put up a new blog, Tales from the Fleet. I've been kind of slacking on that one. I can't believe I've done 16, and I'm only up to first 6 months on my first ship. So, kind of glad where the series is going. It's great for posterity. Like when my kids, whatever, want to know about my kid wants to know about his dad. At some point in the future, he gets to he can go to my channel and look it up. So I think that's pretty cool. And they're fun to do, and obviously a lot of people like them. So sorry I haven't done them in a while. So what's going on? Anybody got any pressing matters to attend to? It's see behind me. This is the man cave. I don't think I've done a tour of this yet. I've been here over a year now. I just took a carpet out that was a piece of shit. I got a clear tile floor now. Keeping it cleaner. I'm a bit of a sloppy person, so this room tends to get trashed if I don't keep up with it. So I'm making a concerted effort now to get it in line. So who's here? What's your name and where are you from? You got what's going on in your life? Freaking chat's working. No, YouTube. No. Monday's my last day of class for the summer semester, short semester. Of course, I took 2 classes, one in May, one I'm about to finish up. If you've been visiting my channel, you might have noticed some weird videos that have nothing to do with military or me. It's just stuff for class. I'm just throwing it. I have a place to host it to show my teachers, so been using it. I don't publish them to the feeds, but if you go to my channel, you can find them pretty easy. They used to have an option to unlist stuff, but I don't see it anymore, so I just let it ride. If you want to watch it, it's fine. But disable comments, I think some people probably wanted to comment on some of it. He was just saying, hey, good job, that's pretty interesting. But unfortunately, I'm dealing with people who aren't, my classmates, and they're in the videos, and I did it once before and I left comments on, and someone made some bad comments about, it's one of my classmates. So I learned, okay, you can't trust the internet. Someone's going to be an asshole. It's about 12:45 here on the East Coast. I got nothing going on today. So waiting to enlist in the Air Force. Should I go full enlisted or reserves? Brendan. Depends on what you want to do. If you want to, it's the difference between full-time and part-time. I'd say for the experience, I would always say go act, unless you just have other things going on that are more important. Always go active at least first, do 4 years, and then maybe check out the reserves. It'll give you a bigger appreciation for the Air Force and what they do than being a straight reservist. So that's what I tell anybody in any service. Just go enlisted first. Go active duty first, because you'll have a better understanding of how your service works. What is going on? Amadeus 2248. Man, this wacky camera angle is really bugging me. Plus my seat, but my clip arm is not cooperating with me today. Much like my laptop has not been cooperating with me lately. It's kind of been fucked up. But yeah, I recorded last night the new Tales from the Fleet, talking about my first reel underway exercise, Holchi focus lens. William Hooker, CTN1, please explain the term rope yarn. Fuck, I can't remember. Some boasted made shit. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Sorry. He's a huge fan. Wanted to stop by and ask what's your opinion on corpsmen. Corpsmen are great. Docs, man. Hook you up, make friends with them. They can be a great ally, and what can you say? They're the medical people. They take care of your owies and give you the cold packs when you're dying of the flu, and hand you Motrin when you break a leg. Make sure you change your socks, all that fun stuff. But no, really, they're good people as a rule. You're gonna be dicks everywhere, but I've always got along well with corpsmen. There's definitely a job field where there's so many fucking specialties. Saying you're a corpsman means nothing, because I'm well, are you a ship corpsman? Are you a marine corpsman? Are you an X-ray technician specialist? Are you independent duty? I think I got so many fucking little subspecialties. It's insane. So yeah, if you're looking for going to the medical field enlisted wise, that's the best way to go. Time of 4K here, early day. Cool, William. Brendan, thank you. A lot of my friends who are telling me to go reserves because I can do a contract welding and get more money. Yeah, your finances would be a major factor, of course. It's one thing to serve your country, but you got to serve yourself first. And I know part of serving your country is sacrifice, but you got to pick the right time. If you're just doing it to do it, and you can't really, why is the thing going dark? And you really just can't really handle it at the moment, don't do it. You don't have to. But I still say, if you really want to know about the service you're joining, you should do 4 years, at least 4 years active first. The first time I got out, I was, before I got laid off, I was about to go down to see my recruiter anyway to go. I did 6 years, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get out. And of course, 6 months into civilian life or whatever it was, I was like, I was missing it. It's the only life I knew as an adult at the moment. So, and I got laid off, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm going back active duty. And it was one of the best things I ever did, because, made the smart move of changing my career field from administrative to journalism, and that's where my passion lies. Obviously, I'm a media guy. I'm a creative guy. I love this kind of stuff. So you know, life works out for a reason sometimes. You know, I ended up fucking myself out of orders on my last duty station, and instead of going to DC, I ended up going to Iwakuni. But you know what happened? You know what? I'm so glad. Iwakuni was a better experience for me than the Naval Media Center in DC would ever have been. So life has a way of working out for a reason. That's what my wife always tells me. I don't know if I quite believe in karma. You know, I think my general opinion is life is random and chaotic, but it's amazing how shit works out sometimes. So where are you guys coming from? I think I put on my thing. I'm at your mom's house in Denver. I just thought your mom's house was funny. What about the choose your rate, choose your fate? Yep, pretty much. But you can change your fate. You know, it was called 1160. Whatever the paperwork is. Yeah, you can change rates. See, I've done it. I've gone through 3 at this point. But yeah, know your rate before you go in the Navy. It's a military movie bullshit in the works. Yes. You're from Texas. What's up, man? Yeah, someone, I just found an old comment someone left on the Facebook page for Salty Seaman. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Movie Chasers. I totally forgot about that movie, and I'm like, oh, this would be really good for it. So, yeah, I'm probably doing that next. A couple other comedies. I was thinking Sergeant Bilko. You know, I've touched on it a little bit before. I love that movie. I've never seen Chasers. Probably at some point I should finish Battleship, but again, it's a really good movie. There's nothing really wrong with it military-wise because it was made with the Navy. So I don't know that, probably I wouldn't have much to add other than it's a really good movie. You know, it's not as fun as, you know, picking apart stuff. Even in the comedies, which, you know, aren't serious, it's still fun just picking at little stuff. You know, I get a lot of requests for Platoon, and I don't, you know, I'm not a Marine. I didn't serve in Vietnam. You know, and I've already done Full Metal Jacket, and I got enough grief from that, from people just saying, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Okay, shit, sorry. Still one of my most popular videos, so hey, you know, it was fun to do, but, you know, one of those things I would have done differently. I have so much opinion and conjecture in that video. It was my first time doing it. I didn't really know how the format was going to work. You know, I got a better idea of it as I kept making episodes of the bullshit. But maybe at some point. I'm thinking of doing a video vlog, just watching episodes of Generation Kill. I've seen the first episode. I really liked it. Again, I don't know how much I could add. Again, not a Marine, not a combat dude. So, you know, the minor things I'd point out would be not as fun. People would come here to see me pick apart military inaccuracies. You know, I don't know how much I could do with that. But I think it might be fun just to review. Any of you vets, or I know some of you, I know a couple of you just said you're looking to join. So I know you're a couple of some junior guys here. I wonder how much bullshit is in the Marvel movies. It's comic book movies, dude. They're all bullshit. It's fantasy. Military-wise, I mean, there's not a lot of military in those movies. But you know, I mean, for that kind of stuff on the civilian side, go watch CinemaSins or Honest Trailers or Screen Rant pitch meetings. It's my new favorite. Oh my god, if you have not seen Screen Rant's pitch meetings, it's the funniest fucking thing. If you like people making fun, poking fun at movies, Screen Rant is killing it right now. Do you have a Navy question? What's the difference between MOS and a Navy rate? Nothing. It's just terminology. Everyone else calls it MOS. Navy calls it a Navy and the Coast Guard call it a rate. It's your job specialty. Pretty much it. Another point, yeah, I might be doing a video about the Coast Guard since I did leave him out of my armed service culture video, other than like I mentioned. So I'm going to get back to the Coast Guard at some point. Favorite channel is Red Letter Media. They do a lot of movie critiquing. Yeah, I like that stuff. I don't take it seriously. It's like they're movies. They're not meant to be realistic, but it's fun just kind of like pointing out stupid shit that happens in movies sometimes, especially if you know the source material. They're no longer the Department of Transportation. Coast Guard is now Homeland Security. I'm sorry. Oof, I just missed somebody's comment. Sorry about that. Guy in orange that just said something. Ooh. So repeat your question, last guy. Get my pole arm not to keep sliding around. Really shit been fracking too much. I don't know if you're referring to Battlestar Galactica fracking or drilling for oil fracking. But yeah, if you're down with the poking fun at movies, besides myself, obviously, for the military side, Cinema Sins, they're the original. They do it the best. Oil drilling, all right. The Honest Trailers, a little, they're really fun. But Screen Rant's pitch meetings are just so fucking funny. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Superhero movies are tight. Fucking love that panel. Nostalgia Critic, I like him a lot too. He does a lot of good movie reviews. What was your worst tour? New Orleans, USS New Orleans. Brand new E6, and I was independent, the only MC. It was fucking brutal. I wasn't ready for it. Honestly, I wasn't a great E6. I could have been a lifelong E5 and been happy. What coffee are you on? Special blend. Let's put it that way. I generally drink coffee. Jenna's. Yeah, my wife gets. I don't know. It's really tasty. Drinking caffeine by hate by BRCC. What are warrant officers exactly, and why are they in the middle of enlisted? No. Warrant officers are all prior enlisted. They are so renowned for their technical ability in their job. They get made into. They are commissioned officers. They are technically below ensigns and second lieutenants, but they're unicorns. They're special. No one fucks with them because they know their shit. Best tours, John C. Stennis, Carrier. Came there, brand new journalist, made E5, had a great shop. I was fucking shit hot, motivated, right, new back in the Navy, just learned this new job I loved, and it was a good life. And apparently I left right before it got really shitty, so my 3 years on there were fucking fantastic. I could argue that against the Blue Ridge in terms of ports. I mean, the Blue Ridge kind of sucked in terms of internally, but you can't deny, I hit so many fucking ports. I saw so much on the Blue Ridge. 3.5 years, I saw more of the world than 99.99% of the world will ever see. So, in that respect, I can't talk shit about the Blue Ridge. And it's where I became a man. I went there at 19 years old, left at 22. So, that's, there's something to be said about that area of life as a young adult, whether it's college, military, or just the first few years away from home out in the real world. So yeah, I definitely have a lot of memories of the Blue Ridge, more than probably anything. But my favorite overall has got to be Stennis. Fuck the New Orleans. And all my shore duties were boring. Do you ever go to the Black Sea? We sailed to the canal in Germany. No, I've only been a Pacific guy. I'm a Westpac dude. Never been East Coast. Never been to Europe. New Orleans was supposed to go to Europe, and we did not. We just stayed in the Gulf. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, William. I don't know much about the Navy or any branch besides the Air Force too well. It's all right. I don't know that much about the Air Force. The Navy just doesn't work with them that often. Times I ran across them, they're definitely like the most mildly military group I've seen. Not that the Navy's fucking standing on ceremony or anything, but it's just different. Like they're just, like I said in the culture video, Army and the Navy are the only real services. The Air Force is a corporation and the Marine Corps is a cult. And I said that all in good fun. All you fucking Marines get butthurt. Some of you do. Most of you have a sense of humor, but some old salty fucking Marines just can't have a fucking sense of humor. But you gotta admit, it's a fucking cult. You guys just I love Marines, but yeah, your whole way of life system is crazy for me. Served with them 3 years. All my Air Force friends have good knees. My Army friends are walking on a crutch. Absolutely fucking true. Your Navy friends will be too. Those Navy steps are fucking brutal. You know, it's just metal, and you go up and down them all day. If you work in engineering, they're like super steep, and you go up and down them all fucking day. And all the engineers I know have fucked up backs and knees, and a lot of times you're carrying heavy equipment, you know, replacement parts and shit. So, you know, I don't know if I would, you know, it's comparable to carrying around a bunch of fucking gear in the Gulf, but you know, you're not getting shot at. You just got to worry about the engine blowing up in your face. Take your poison. An 8-year, 2 active, 6 IRR. Bruce Lombardo, you're related to Dave Lombardo, the Slayer drummer. Yeah, I did. I did 6 initially, had 2 IRR, but then ended up coming back in. So I've been thinking about doing a thing on stop loss also. Really, Dave Lombardo's your cousin. All right, I want to see a picture of you two together. What's going on, Christopher? Dave's the fucking man. One of the best drummers ever. Distant cousin. Yeah, he's Cuban. You're right. Okay. I'll buy it. Why not? It's the internet. Has to be true. I guess you're both named Lombardo. Distant cousin probably isn't wrong. I'm sure I'm related to a lot of Owenses I would not know I'm related to. If you don't know my real name, my name's Gabriel Owens. It's not like I hide my real name. I just, you know, it's the internet. You go by a handle. Family settled in Long Island, Brooklyn. His departure was for northern Italy. Yeah, and then he went to California, obviously, where he met up with Slayer. But yeah, the singer and bassist Slayer is also Hispanic. So I never understand why neo-Nazis fucking love Slayer. It's like half the band's Hispanic. Shouldn't you guys hate them? All right. How do you get from point A to point B? Explain how you get from point A to point B on a ship. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna refill in my flagon of chuckles here. Yeah, you have to use the bullseyes if you don't know your ship too well. My first ship, Blue Ridge, I was lost on for about a month. Just, I had to deliver paperwork everywhere, and I was like, you showed me one time, it's like, yeah, here's where the XO is, here's where the ship's deck is, here's where this office is. It's all fucking confusing. It's like just gray walls. And you basically, you gotta learn how to read a bullseye real quick, or just learn by osmosis and just keep being experienced walking around the ship and kind of learn where everything's at. But it's, you know, even experienced guys, first time to a new ship, unless it's the same platform you've been on before, it's fucking confusing. Submarines, I hear, is not as bad because they're so small. Within 2 days, you pretty much know where everything's at. Carrier, not as bad as you think it would be, because a lot of it's just empty space for planes. So as big as it is, it's really not more difficult than any other ship I've been on. Do you watch Buzz 131? Talking about Senior Chief? Yeah, I mentioned him several times. Don Shipley? Yeah, but Don's the fucking man. I love him. He's not on YouTube anymore because they keep killing his fucking videos because the fakers complain about him. So he just does his own thing on his own website. I've subscribed to it. I'm not currently subscribed, but you know, they're doing a lot more stuff on his own channel than they were doing on YouTube in terms of tracking down these assholes. And him and his wife do a great job. I fucking love them. I'd love to have Senior Chief on here and interview him, and I've asked if he's ever responded. So maybe once I get to I'm a little bit bigger of a deal on YouTube, maybe he'll come seek me out for an interview, or I'll already ask. Same thing for the guy who draws Terminal Lance, the Marine Corps comic. Asked him too, he's never responded. Anyone heard any of the stuff I've done with Mark Olson? SWO officer, Navy Academy grad. We kind of do like more long form, more, I guess, intellectual stuff. You know, he's a big college boy, he's really smart, he fucking studies his ass off. He knows his shit, and I kind of provide the more layman version of it. I really love those. I would like to break those off. What's up, Ant? One of my buddies just jumped on here, non-military, but good longtime friend. I contribute to his channel as well. What's going on, buddy? If you're interested in Transformers, TFU info, the way to go. The Transformers, oh shit, I'm forgetting the name of it. Transformers Encyclopedia, god damn it, having a brain fart, sorry. Anyway, they're really good. If you like Transformers, if you know anything about my channel, you know I like Transformers a lot. Probably more than is healthy. Transformers University, thank you. Yes. Favorite military movie? Oh, fuck. Platoon's up there. Full Metal Jacket's up there. Down Periscope is up there. Final Countdown's getting in my top 10. That's a really good fucking movie and one people don't know about. Private Benjamin. I like comedies. When Peter Cullen dies, it's going to be a sad day. Fuck yeah. Hot Shots Part 2? No, fuck that. Hot Shots Part 1. Way better. I like 2, but doesn't compare. Come on, Aunt, the Hershiser joke? You know you loved it. Hi, Salty Squidman. What's the best advice for new servicemen? Culture shit I got 6 years ago. 11-pound U.S. Army. I don't know what that means, dude. To join the Army, you need to lose 11 pounds? Diet and exercise. Take meth. Kidding. Boot. Infantry. I don't know much about the Army infantry. Marine infantry, been on my ships. You know, they're interesting cats. I make fun of them because a lot of them are really, really fucking dumb. Some of the dumbest conversations I've ever heard in my life was from Marine infantry, but I've also met a lot of really, really smart infantry guys. Usually guys who were supposed to go somewhere else in the Marine Corps got stuck in infantry. But yeah, you run across them. And Dev Grew, yeah, fucking trained killers, man. I don't fuck with them. Crayons, that's the Marines, man. That's what they love to eat. You know, when they're done drawing, you know, finish up the clean, you know, field cleaning. You know, you got to get rid of those crayons somehow. No what, William? I'm just as bad though. I think I'm missing out on part of the conversation here. You guys look like you're having a sidebar here. Continue. I'm not here to interrupt. Oh. To think of other military movies. MASH. Again, I go to comedies a lot. What are you? Oh, there goes my arm again. What are you vaping on? I guess you're asking me. It's just nicotine. Nothing fun, sadly. I'm broke. They got me on 6 years right now, 2 of them for inactive. Yep. IRR. The hidden killer in the military. You think you're doing 4 years, but all enlisted sign up for 8. Period. And they might downplay the IRR, but you never know. I was getting out literally when 9/11 happened. And my whole transition class was just kind of on pins and needles the whole time because all the shit going on in the world. But we already have plans to get out, and we were not sure if they were going to let us get out. And we did. Certain people didn't. People in intel and whatnot. And of course, when the Afghan and Iraqi war started, a lot of people got stop-lost. As long as you're on the sticky cancer sticks, I'm like, yeah. This is what I gave it up for. I've been using a vape for 4 years. If I try a cigarette now, like it just tastes nasty. Like I'm so used to a more clean burn. Cigarettes just fucking taste nasty. You know, I do it like hanging out with friends who are smoking. I'll grab one off of them, and it's always just like, ew. So, if I got to be a slave to my nicotine addiction, I'd rather do it this way. It's actually brand new. Never even heard of this company. Polar. It's a lot more portable than my last one was. It was a good vape, but it was just so fucking bulky. And I have a pin too, but I lose the pin so often. The one I have, I almost just lost. I found it like it fell off the guardrail of my back porch. I found it like, you know, if it rolled a little bit more, I probably would have never found it because it would have fell down into like this little crevice. So it's still cheaper than buying a $4 or $5 pack of smokes every day. You think going on Dez is a good idea? No. I wouldn't recommend it. It works out for some people. Most of the ones I know, that they end up, you know, Deck on Dez. 90% of them I know, they stayed, you know, they just went Bosa's mates. I mean, if that's what you want to do, fine. Bosa's mates a classic military raid. Have you ever tried the Silverstream Titan mod box? Ant, what the fuck are you talking about? Is that a new Transformer they just announced at San Diego Comic-Con? And our nerd chat, me and Ant are on iChat. The San Diego Transformers are coming out. It's like all everybody's talking about. Sorry, Pop back. I thought you were talking about vaping. Oh, it's a vape? I don't know. No, I haven't. I mostly use Smock, and now I've switched over to Polar. But it works for my sensibilities, basically. Now, if this came in late, yes, this is a little bit clean for a Navy coffee cup, but I had to clean it today. It's been sitting on a shelf. It was just, I would have got the bubonic plague if I tried to be straight old salt and just not clean it and just drink straight out of the fucking bottom of it. It was just so fucking nasty. You know, this is a mostly finished man cave, but it's not quite. Shit just fucking falls in it. And I'm like right next to the woods and buggies and everything else come in here. You know, I've seen wood roaches come in, and I only received one at a time, so I just named him Timmy. And it's just like, you know, oh, Timmy came in today, blah, blah, blah. You know, my son thinks it's hilarious, my wife does not. My buddy's company made one shaped like a Boss distortion pedal, started making custom boxes after that. All right, yeah, if you're into guitar shit, my friend Ant is a professional bass player. He's been in a couple bands. Listen to him a lot. He's a talented dude, obviously. It's my boy. I cannot play shit. I can dabble on drums and keep a beat. And I learned that from Rock Band. It's about as far as I fucking go. I never learned to, I can carry a tune in a bucket on a good day. So, I was in a garage band for like 5 seconds back in high school. My voice was even shittier back then. You know, 20 years of cigarettes like gave me some depth. As long as your longest and shortest deployments. Shortest deployment, probably about 3 months. I do the little half ones. And that's mostly what I did, actually. I got fucking lucky. My last deployment was the longest. It was 8 months. It was like full on, go to the Gulf, sit around, fucking do nothing. I honestly have been lucky with deployments in the Navy. And definitely better than some of the horror stories I've heard, guys out there. The aircraft carrier Roosevelt was out there 9 months, beginning of the Afghan Gulf War stuff. Because the JFK was supposed to relieve them. JFK couldn't pass his quals. On the way home, going around Australia, Roosevelt got turned the fuck around and went right back to the Gulf. That shit sucks. I don't say it sucks as much as being in direct combat, but it fucking sucks. And you're still in an aircraft carrier. You're just launching. You're in combat. You're launching planes all fucking day. The friend got 28 on the ASVAB. Yeah, not unusual. I've worked with a lot of people who had 30s and below. It's always surprising when those guys have rates. I worked with a guy with a 30 who's a yeoman. I listened to my Tales from Fleet. Anthony Krantz, not the brightest guy in the world, but somehow he qualified to be an administrative assistant. Again, Anthony, I'm sorry for picking on you, man. I love you, but you're under no delusions of your intelligence, and you're getting by in life, wife and kid, got a steady job. Life's moving on for you, brother. There's another interesting thing. You know, it's a 22 years past looking, you know, I keep up with a lot of people from my first ship, and, you know, seeing what different people have done with their lives. You know, people that stayed in, people that went officer, people that changed services, people that got out. Some of them do great things. Some of them, you know, seem to struggle in life. And explain workups. A workup is getting ready for deployment. So you're going out to these little small underways, you know, a week, 2 weeks at a time, just getting your qualifications done, making sure the ship is seaworthy and warfare capable. It's done prior to deployment. You know, it can be up to 6 to 9 months. You know, when I was on the carrier, it was a damn near a year of workups before we did the actual deployment. So that's why my carrier time was great, because I had a good time. Like, first year was the workups, second year was the deployment, third year was dry dock. So you know, ended up, you know, that's part of why that was such a good tour. Other than, you know, my command was really great at the time. But yeah, the 8 months I did on the New Orleans, you know, going from San Diego up to Jordan in the Middle East and back, was rough. It was really rough, especially being the only media guy on, you know, attached to the ship on board. We had a dude come out to help me, and I needed it because the ship was so undermanned. I was assigned to like 800 different jobs because I was the photographer. They said, what the fuck else is he doing? Like, they just assigned me to everything. You know, DCPO, work center suit, 3M assistant, 50 cal gun watch. I swear, I did everything but take pictures a lot of times. And get yelled at and get called over the 1MC a billion times because they need a photographer right now and they don't know where I'm at. So, you know, part of the reason that tour was so rough. But life lessons learned. I'm a better man for it, but at the time it fucking sucked. You ever done a video on the Space Force? Yes, like 2 military videos ago, talking about Space Force. Yay, okay. So now someone can be an actual shuttle door gunner. Okay. You know, I don't think we're quite there yet. You know, this is like Star Wars all over again from the 80s. You know, we can't fund NASA. How the hell are we going to fund a space military? How many bowling alleys and swimming pools are on a carrier? You want the real answer or the answer we give boots? There's 2 bowling alleys and a swimming pool that are right next to the McDonald's. How about that? Exactly, yeah. Imagine bowling on a thing that does this in the ocean all the time. A lot of fun, right? How hard is it to reclass your MOS? You need to wait till after your first contract. You can do it before. You can do it before. It can be difficult. It depends on how good you are, how well your command supports you, a lot of different things. For training for the Navy, do you college courses, same field? I did. You don't have to. I did 14 years as a mass media specialist, and I'm using my GI Bill currently going to Georgia State University for film. So if you notice an uptick in the quality of my videos, I'm learning stuff and it's fun. My friend Ant, who's been here talking, he's a broadcast professional, CNN, Al Jazeera, MLB Network. He's doing corporate video now. You know, I send a lot of my stuff to him for critique. Yeah, I love this field. This is where I want to be. I don't want to go. I could do public affairs. I'd rather be a video editor. That's just kind of my kind of dream. What I'd like to do. I think it's my strongest suit besides writing. Working on movies and stuff. Yeah, it'd be great. Maybe some point down the line. I have plans for a couple of student movies coming up, so we'll see how that works out. How hard is it getting back in with broken service? It depends on a lot of factors. I mean, like when I came back in, I'd barely been out, so it wasn't too hard, but it still took a long time. MEPS just worked so fucking slow. You know, I was changing jobs. I lost my rank. I went from E4 to E3, but I ended up with my dream job, so I dealt with it. I was on holding forever between TPU in Jacksonville, and even back at the schoolhouse. I was like 8 months on hold before I started school, and then I finally went to the fleet like almost a year and a half later when I came back in. But all worth it in the end. The other job I was going to go for was Intel, and they weren't taking prior service. We talk about how ABUs blend into nothing but office plants. I mean, just you talk about camo in the Navy. I mean, obviously it's an unneeded fucking thing. We're not out in the woods or the desert, you know. But and our uniforms have always been blue, and they match the sea, and people bitch. And then the blueberries came, and people bitched about that. And now we got the Type 3s with the green. But I think it looks stupid. I just don't like seeing navy and green. It's like confusing. I don't know why they couldn't have kept the blue color and just fixed everything else about the uniform, but that's just me. Dungarees still suck, by the way. Okay, are you in the VA? No. I have no health problems, sadly. I say sadly because I'm not getting any money for any health problems. But no, I haven't gone to the VA since I've been out for 2 years. I have not gone to the VA. 2.5 years at this point. Time goes fast the older you get. No, I have a lot of friends who had to deal with the VA and the medical side. I have a cousin who used to work there. Fucking major mess. The GI Bill side, mostly okay. I get hiccups with them too, so. But overall, I'm getting paid, so it's cool. I also point, the VA is good depending on the area. Yes, I've heard. Some people said like my VA is fucking great. Other people say they can't get shit done. I live at one of the major, right here in my own town, here in Decatur, Georgia. There's the major southeast area VA medical hospitals like right down the street from me. And yeah, like the rest of the VA has a problem, and a lot of it's just volume. You know, 18 years of war. What do you expect? And it's just going to keep getting worse. And it's not going to be fixed until someone really goes in and like puts major funding in fixing this shit, because it just ain't the bodies. Should they give you guys gray multicams because ship's gray? What would I know? That would blend you in, but why? You know, it's not like you're hiding from enemies inside the ship. But I mean, the traditional color of the Navy is navy blue, so I just say stick with that. Make the uniforms comfortable, usable, easy to wear, lots of pockets, and keep the color blue. So basically, yeah, Type 3s change the color. That'd be my opinion. Snipers in port, that happens, but I mean, I don't think it's much. It's going to do them much good. And I don't know, gray is just like, I mean, why don't we just put little buildings on them for camo? I'm gonna say hi. My school class loves watching you during our breaks. Fire Scout. Well, thank you very much. I don't know what that means, but I'm glad people are watching my videos in class. I don't know if Andrew Ryan's out there. He built a playlist of all my tales from the fleet, and like when I find out these little things, you know, sometimes like when I'm not getting good views, I'm like, shit, no one's watching my shit, and it's like kind of demoralizing. Every once in a while, you find out some stuff. People just really love what you're doing. You know, even if you aren't like a big fucking TV star or YouTube star, it's like it's nice having people still appreciate your content and your output. You're hiding from fish. You can't hide from fish; they can smell you if you're in the water. You know, sharks and shit. Those who've never been in the Navy, people ask me about, you know, do we see dolphins or anything? Like, yes, all the time. Dolphins follow our ship because we dump our chow, our galley chow when it's over. They're fucking great. CTMA school, we got time for lunch, so we often watch you. Oh, okay. Crypto Maintenance Man, huh? Or is that Dam Neck, or is that, I think they moved that. I think Intel schools used to all be in Dam Neck. I think they moved them. I've never been stationed in Virginia, by the way. Avoided the East Coast like the fucking plague. It's like the plague that was in this coffee cup earlier. What do you feel about Stolen Valor? Well, go watch my Stolen Valor video. Just hit 1 million views today. Woohoo! Corey Station, Pensacola. They're in Picola. Okay. Yeah, that's right. They moved down there. Two of my best friends are CTs. Don't get me started on stolen valor. I fucking hate it. Fuck you. Like, I don't agree with beating up homeless people about it. Let them go. But people who are actually getting benefits and fucking over people or job interviews, claiming to be a SEAL or what the fuck ever, that's wrong. Whether it's protected by freedom of speech or not, the trick is putting these motherfuckers on blast and shaming them, making sure people who might be hiring them know they're liars and fibbers and don't deserve to work anything above a gas station. And unquestionable on the gas station. Yeah, go Don, that's right. He only does with SEALs. But yeah, he's the best at it of anybody. He made it his life goal besides his school, which I think he was trying to sell. Him and his wife just getting too old to fucking run it. Even being a badass old commando, the old part's still there. But yeah, I love Don Shipley. He's a great fucking guy. Former bosun's mate. Or was a bosun's mate, but you know what I mean. SEALs used to have source ratings. He used to still be a bosun's mate, a photographer, intel guy, QM, gunner's mate, and still be a SEAL. But now SEAL's its own great SO. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. And we're back. Sorry, I had to go get a refill. I didn't quite think this whole thing over very well, apparently. Hence my Dutch angle and uncomfortable seating position. Do you have any questions I can help with, MC1? I don't know. This guy goes to my local bar, loves babbling. Yeah. Always those guys. I've ran into so many fakers. Usually guys in bars. One guy I let go, he's an old dude. One guy I basically, without confronting him directly, just kind of let his friends over with him. He thought he was a former SEAL who's now a QM on his little ship, that he was full of shit. Ant can tell you the story of Rhode Island. Ant, if you're still here. Happened at a Transformer convention, of all things. I had to call it, not quite stolen valor, but just don't do that. And the guy got in my face and we almost had a fight. It's kind of legendary in my circles now. Ever worked with Dutch sailors? No. Canadian, Japanese, Korean, Australian, English, and never Dutch. I've never been to Europe, so probably a reason for that. Canadian Navy and Army are pretty interesting folk. I'll say that. Nice as the Canadians are, they did destroy one of the heads in one of the berthings that we own. That was pretty funny. Ever in the Philippines? Yes, once. My first ship used to go to the PI all the time. When I came in '96, we were kind of banned from the Philippines for like 3 years. So my last time on the ship, we pulled into Manila. I was there for 4 days. I never saw the glory days of olden times. No, Manila, not Subic. But yeah, very familiar with the Filipinos because they're all over Asia. They're all in the Navy. They're plenty in Japan. pretty much everywhere I go, like, you know, they're like the workhorses of that area of the country, of the world. You know, they're the nannies, the house cleaners. They're just everywhere. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's more fun in the Philippines. I wish I spent more time there, especially as a young single man. I dated a few Filipinos in Japan and Hong Kong, but yeah. Carry your DD-214 on you? No. Why would you carry a DD-214 on you? Even a copy? Like, why? I carry my retired military ID, but you know, it's also my insurance card technically for TRICARE, so that's about the only time it gets used. But no, I would never carry on a DD-214. You know, it's in a box with all my other important paperwork. I mean, you can make a copy of it or whatever, but no. Seems silly. Like if you're claiming something really special, they Brandon, if that's what you want to do, man. I mean, I guess I see no fucking purpose of it. Do a funny story about getting mine. Like when I got out, I was I don't think I told this story on the channel. I should have. When I retired, they flew me out of Japan. I was in Iwakuni working at the AFN station. They flew me to Bangor, Washington. I had a, you know, so like, yeah, you'll be like 3 days and they'll just send you home for the rest of the time. And ended up, no, they counted up my days wrong. I ended up there like 2.5 weeks. And the day I was supposed to leave, like way past where I thought I was going to leave, I go to pick up my DD-214 from PSD and they're having an anti-terrorism drill. I was like, can this fucking retirement get any worse? And it did, because my retirement ceremony got almost canceled and moved in Georgia due to threat of snow, because the Air Force can't keep their base open when it snows. I guess the Air Force can't fight in foul weather. It was the craziest shit I ever saw. Luckily, we did it in a hotel and it still worked out. So, but yeah, opinions on the Air Force and their toughness, I question. I've been on a ship in fucking typhoons and we're still doing work because it's like, shit still gotta get done. So, and I know how the Marines work too, and probably the Army, but apparently the Air Force don't. It's like, ooh, it's chilly and there's some flakes in the air. Ah, close down the base. Fuck your retirement ceremony. Not that they were thinking of my retirement ceremony, but you know. You know, other than that, you know, it's like, you know, some issues with the GI Bill, and I'm still going around on, I think I'm owed back pay, but we'll see how that ever works out. Other than that, yeah, I get a pension and I get a nice check from GI Bill every month. It's pretty nice. Kind of a big shit on the Air Force, yeah. Corey, we had the base locked down during thunderstorms because in the Air Force base, that sounds about right. Closing down for thunderstorms. I mean, with planes and shit, I get it, but again, I'm the Navy. We're on carriers and we fire off jets in bad weather. Police officer ever cared you're a veteran? Yes. I have got out of a very sticky situation because of my ID card. What do you love most about your rate? It's what I want to do. It's what I love. I write, I take photos, I take video, I edit video. I got to play on the radio. I got to make stupid, corny commercials. I fucking loved it. You know, the actual job itself. Sometimes places I were at were great, but overall, yeah, it's what I love to do. You know, compared to my first job as a yeoman, you know, it was a job. I didn't care about it. I cared about that job, and it's the same career field I'm following. Iwakuni was, like I said, it was, ended up getting those orders last minute. I wasn't looking forward to it. I never heard of Iwakuni, even though I was stationed in Japan, but it's a really cool place. You ever seen Angry Cops? Drill Sergeant. Hi is funny. I don't know what that means. Are you talking about the Clint Eastwood movie? He wasn't a drill sergeant. He was the gunny. Gunny Hershey. Hershey Highway. Another movie I could do, Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, which I now more associate with Chris Jericho than I do the movie, but still, it's a great fucking movie. He's a YouTuber. No, I don't know him. I was in. I didn't even know there was as many military channels as they were till recently. I got put in a contest a couple of months ago. If you didn't notice. At least I have time to stay in my chair when it rains. Okay. But yeah, I made it to like the third round of like a military YouTube tournament thing, and I, comparatively, I realized like there's a lot of dudes out there that have like big ol' ass audiences. I'm just talking about the big names like Don Shipley, combat veteran. There's some other guys I never heard about before. What do you feel about the Navy consolidating a bunch of rates? Keeps happening. It's the nature of the beast. My job got consolidated. That's why I'm an MC instead of a JO. And suddenly I was supposed to know everything about photography, printing, and graphic design. And I'm here, dude that knows a little bit about photography and is a writer. And I suddenly had to go learn a bunch of other shit. And I've watched people who went from, my friend Homer went from an AK to an SK to a supply. What the fuck is the rate? See, I've been out so long, I'm starting to lose it. But it's a supply rate that just kept getting merged in, and all of a sudden he goes from like knowing aviation supply to having to know all of Navy supply to also having to know postal shit. So it just happens, and you got to adjust, and it's tough. It was, he was an AK, then he was an SK, then he was whatever the supply rate is now. They combine it with postal clerk. So PN and DKs become PSs. CTAs went away and went back to yeoman. Just tons of others. When I came in there, GMs were two different rates: missiles and regular guns. GMG and GMM. Hell, I came in, there were molders, built, people who designed, how to describe it. It's before computers. Basically, if you wanted like a 3D printout of like a ship system, there's a dude who would like physically build these molds. They're called molders. Guy was he was a PC-1 on my first ship. That was his previous job. He cross-rated to PC when his job died. There used to be a job called OTA. Oceanography. It was like a surface sonar guy, people. What is Navy PT like? Really isn't any. I guess the best way to describe it. You ever seen a chief who had a lot of stripes in their sleeve and they get in trouble a lot? Yeah, I've seen chiefs with a lot of red stripes. They exist. Not as much as the old days, but yeah, they're still out there. My friend Chris Fowler, he just got his gold back. He's a senior chief. And he's like one of the smartest and best Navy guys I know, but he's had his run-ins. As a guy I know when he made chief, got kicked out of the MC rating, ended up going bosun's mate as a first class, and then made chief and bosun's mate, like right when he was thinking he was getting, kicked out or retired. You never know. People getting in trouble is not the end of the world. It's how you recover from it. That's always one of my big things is like, I never like people being shit on for, one fuck up. Where your station is in GQ. First ship was repair locker. I was DC Central phone talker. Second ship I was in one of the repair lockers. I was an investigator. And I was a medical phone talker on my last ship. So I've never been a straight firefighter. But I was qualled up to fucking damage control team on my last ship. They just never put me on the damage control team. So they had enough people. back when I was futilely trying to make chief. Once I got my first eval on that ship, I realized, like, yeah, this is never going to fucking happen. But not blaming the ship, a lot of it was my fault too. Do you ever do a military bullshit of Major Payne in the Army now? Been requested on both. I love Major Payne, love Damon Wayans. The movie is fucking hilarious. I've mentioned Major Payne. There was one major problem with that. Damon Wayans is way too young to have served in Vietnam. That's my major problem. That's my major military bullshit pick on that one. In the Army now, I've never seen. I loved Pauly Shore back when I was a teenager and he was on MTV. I saw Jury Duty and the Caveman movie with Brendan Fraser, but I've never really seen anything else he did. It was all awful. Oh. My arm keeps moving. Anything about the Office of Special Investigations? No. There's so many fucking departments. I don't know if I keep up with what. Is that the same thing as an Inspector General, IG? That's the Internal Investigation Service for the military, IG. Definitely know them. They've come to my commands a few times. Usually because someone's fucking up. Do you go to Great Lakes? Yep. Great Lakes was the only boot camp when I came in. Like, they just closed down Orlando and San Diego, so I would have gone there anyway because I came out of Arkansas. So it was fucking cold. November. I hated it. I mean, not that boot camp's fun, but you know, by the time it hits like mid-November, it fucking sucks. But yeah, I said Major Payne. I would, you know, if there was more to like pick on in that movie, maybe I maybe just do it as a regular review. But yeah, I love the movie, but there's not a lot to like really sink my teeth into. You know, Snow Patrol, Snow Watch. I never got Snow Watch. Like the snow came in like the last week, and somehow I never got on that bill. No, I'm not even Catholic. So, but yeah, it fucking sucked. It's so fucking cold. Back then, you had to march everywhere. Like, everything wasn't in one ship. Everything was spread across fucking Great Lakes. You had to march everywhere. The eats, to the chow hall, to the drill hall, to you know, classes, whatever. You get called out for it because people don't believe there was a boot camp in Orlando. Well, a Google search will fucking prove them wrong. You know, that was open till '94, I think. So. In fact, my friend Azalea, she went there. She was in like a year before me. Advice for sand fleas: don't pick at them. I'm not a Marine, but I know about them. Yeah, you're going to beautiful home of Sergeant Slaughter over there in Parris Island. Yeah, you got sand fleas apparently, and yeah, if you scratch them in formation, the drill sergeant says that guy's earned that sand flea has earned its stripes more than you have, so you don't scratch that motherfucker. So yeah, just you gotta suck it up, man. You know, that's boot camp in general. Like, you have the worst itch in the world in your nose, and you better fucking ignore it. So I learned how to ignore a lot of shit in boot camp. That's the great thing about boot camp. You learn a lot about yourself and what you can do. But yeah, I've heard about the sand fleas. I think the Air Force is in Lackland. Or do they have two, or just one? And the Army has a lot. Like Fort Benning, they have one here in Georgia, Fort Benning, and I think they had a bunch of others. The Army's like 1 million people, so it's weird that the Marines are the smallest and they have 2 boot camps, and the Navy's the second biggest. We only have 1. Weird how that works. Yes, stay under the radar is a good idea, but it doesn't always work out for you. Got Lackland, yeah. My buddy went there. Buddy I went through high school with, Bill. He did 20 years as he was a satellite tech for ICBM missiles. He was only stationed in like Montana, North Dakota, and like Riverside, somewhere in California. There's only 3 bases they had him. That's where he did his 20 years. It was pretty funny, but yeah, we give each other shit all the time. I keep touching the screen because it keeps going dark. Like I don't know why. Sounds like a winter-friendly job. I'm gonna. North Dakota in the fucking winter has got to be fucking suck. No, thank you. You know, I know people that did back in the day. The Navy used to have a research station down in Antarctica. There used to be a billet you could have do 6 months down there. Got a ribbon and everything. Operation Deep Freeze. About halfway through my first enlistment, they closed that down. But it used to be a place a lot of people would go. Like, you know, like I was a yeoman back then. They used to have, you know, there were yeoman billets down there. Obviously, you need a yeoman everywhere. Someone's got to do the fucking paperwork. Yeah, the 6 months considered a year. Like, and it depends. It's like, did you do the winter? Did you do the winter? Did you do the other? Like that. It's always winter, but I guess like there's one half of the year is worse than the other. Yeah, my old boss, Senior Chief Medley, she did it, and she did the polar bear challenge too. She jumped in naked in the fucking Arctic Ocean. She's a tough old broad. If you're watching, Jan, I love you. I hate the cold, but I would have blue nose crossing the Arctic line. I've never done that. Would be interesting though. Ever been to Georgia? I live in Georgia. I live in Decatur, Georgia. I'm from Georgia. Don't necessarily stay under the radar. At least try to step it up. Yeah. If you watch my boot camp video, I said there's 3 kinds of people. Like you're a fuck up, you're a guy trying in the middle, trying to like avoid attention, or you're a motivated dude trying to get a promotion out of boot camp and you take a leadership role. So it's all depending on your personality. Quiz question for you: where Top Gun at right now? I have fucking no idea. I think it's in Texas. I know about as much of Top Gun as anyone else does from the fucking movie. It's a real place. One achievement I have from a sailor time is a plank owner poster from the Mechanicals. Yeah, not a plank owner. Never been on a ship like that. Fallon, Nevada. Okay, I almost got stationed there. When I had to change my orders for my last duty station, it was like Fallon, China Lake, or Iwakuni. So, and I had a buddy stationed there, Joe. And through his connections there, I made a good friend, Randy, on Facebook. So, non-military guy. But weird how the world works sometimes, right? Wife, I was pushing for Nevada. Actually, my wife did not want to go. She's an accountant. I was like, you can go work at not Vegas, the nearby casino place. Yeah, Blue Ridge was my first command, correct. Blue Ridge is still in operation, which is fucking insane. Oldest ship in the Navy. Commissioned 1970, 6 years before I was born, and I'm already an old fuck. So, fortunately, I just came back from Japan. I went there for vacation. My family, my wife's Japanese. We brought some friends, and I went down to Yokosuka first time since 1999. Did the haunch, the bar area, but I didn't get on base. I never made it. How many fleets does the Navy have? 4? 5th Fleet, 6th Fleet, 7th Fleet, 2nd Fleet. It's not full 7. There's no 1st Fleet. I know that. I think it's 4 or 5. Again, a couple of years out here, so. Well, that shit doesn't come back to me as well as it used to. I'm trying to count. It's like Virginia, San Diego, Europe, Middle East, Pacific. 5. I was saying one of my RDCs in boot camp was OTA. It's an old, very dead. It was dead when I came in. She just hadn't cross-rated yet. And it's an old Cold War communist Russia sub-hunting rate. It used to be stationed in they were in Norway and Greenland and all those places. Really weird. But I thought it was an interesting old rate, like builder and pattern maker. That's another one, pattern maker PM. Long dead rate. Corpsman used to be split up between pharmacy's mate and corpsman. That's really old school. Some of you really old souls know that one. CB are the construction guys, Brendan. So my friend Alan Vance still here. I actually know him for Transformers, but he ended up joining the Navy. He was former AT on aviation, and now he's in the reserves as a CB. I think he's a builder. No, equipment operator, EO. He's an EO1. I love CBs. Good guys. Absolutely. Another question for you. What does CB stand for? The letter C and B before it got turned into a C and a B. Any more military BS coming up? Yes. Probably Chasers. Actually, probably watching that tomorrow. That's my plan right now. When it'll actually get up, who fucking knows? Hopefully this weekend. But yeah, Chasers is next. I think I've decided. But always open for suggestions. Ever dealt with foreign sailors, military personnel to shore liberty? Yeah. Australia, Korea, Japan, Russia. Construction battalion, you're correct. Yeah, Aussie Marines are fucking crazy. I love those guys. A little too crazy, but you know, Marines are Marines. I guess doesn't even matter what country you're from. Canadians are fucking crazy. Canadian Army. I talked earlier. They wrecked my fucking head. How so? They get off they get out of the field and they get into the town and they're Aussies, man. It's like Aussie plus Marine plus just got fucking maneuvers. Do the math. I mean, Aussies can fucking outdrink just about anybody, as far as I can tell. So the movie Officer and a Gentleman bugs me. Can you go straight to Navy OCS like maybe the blue trap? Yes. No, he went to college. Watch the movie. He's a college graduate and he decides to go to OCS. So yes. He submitted an application and got accepted. That part of the movie is correct. It's been a long time since I watched it. I would watch it again just to see if I could spot anything. But for the most part, they weren't wrong. Talking about, future people wanting to be officer wives and shit. Yeah, that's all fucking true. Fun fact, the world has the largest air force. If it ain't America, I don't know. China? Russia? Some weird little country you wouldn't think about? Probably the answer. Actually, I don't think the Japanese have an air force specifically, just the Navy. Yeah. Part of of course, we always say in the Navy we have more planes than the Air Force does. I don't even know if that's true or not, but they also say the Army has more boats than we do. Not ships, but boats. Always thought you had to go to boot camp first and apply. Nope. That's OCS is boot camp. It's officer boot camp. So that's what he was going through in the movie. He was going through officer boot camp. OCS is a motherfucker too. I've heard a lot of stories about OCS. It's fucking. It's not like they take it easy on the officers at all. I heard some fucking horror stories. People who've been through OCS. Trying to eat a fucking orange with a spoon. Sleeping on the floor because you don't want to fuck up your bed. Shit like that. So, Navy officers don't necessarily have to go through any kind of boot camp, actually. You go through ROTC or direct commissions. Who has the second biggest Air Force? I don't have no idea. But Marines, every Marine has to go through some version of either boot camp or OCS. I think they're the only service that has to go through OCS or boot camp. I think you can get into the Army Officer Corps without doing it. Air Force and Navy for sure, but Marines you can't. Everyone has to learn to be a Marine first. That's how they work. I have a friend who's actually going back into reserves, former YN3. She's going back in as into the reserves as a HN2. She's a nursing student, and she's in her 40s, and she got a waiver. So, everyone thinks they're too old. Depending on what kind of background you have, you'd be surprised. I think there was a story about some guy joining the Navy as a doctor in his 60s in the reserves. It's fucking insane. I'm too fucking fat and beat up to fucking go back in. Like, if I'm called, I will be disqualified before you ask. I need to lose about 30 pounds at least, among other things. So, because otherwise, I'm like I said, I don't go to the VA. I'm otherwise healthy. You know, just disturbingly healthy and never get health problems much. So, it surprises me as much as does anybody else who knows me. I lived a hard life in the Navy. I fucking enjoyed my time. I'll just put it that way. But not that it would be a bad idea. I'd love to bring this gut down a bit, for fucking sure. But when you don't have that motivation every 6 months of getting weighed in, it's easy to slip, especially when you're over 40. Test for E5 difficult. It's difficult as you want to make it to be. How much you want to study, how much you're dedicated to making that fucking rank. You know, I made E5 JO2. I was 99th percentile. I was one of the top fucking dudes. I got paid right away. It was fantastic. So. And then I was like 93rd percentile for MC1, and I still only made it by 4 points. And it just depends on the numbers sometimes. I know Marine Infantry, it's really hard to make E4, much less E5. You really got to put some time in because there's just so many motherfuckers. Bosun's mates, I've heard, making BM1 right now is apparently nearly impossible. Got a buddy right now on Facebook, he's BM2, just, it's killing him. He's like, the last 3 cycles, like, I just see his Facebook post. He's trying, he's doing his best, but it's just like, it's so fucking tight. You know, they're making like, depending on, I mean, the old media rates used to be draftsmen, DM2, or DMs, and they would just have cycles where no one made rank because there's so few of them, and just you're waiting for people to retire or die. You know, I mean, that happens. And some rates it's like fucking automatic to E5. My old rate JO journalist up to even chief for a while. Like chief was 50-50. Like I missed my window by 4 or 5 years. If I came as straight as a JO, I probably would have made chief. You can tell people how the PRT cycle works. Well, PRT, I think is a dead term. It's like when I was left, it was PFT. Basically, every 6 months, you get weighed in, and you have to, you gotta make weight. If you don't make weight, they tape you. If you don't make the tape, you go on the fat body program. Never did it, believe it or not. I was always on weight. And then you do a certain number, you just push-ups, sit-ups, and a 1.5 mile run. It's not super difficult. I never understood. I'm not the best physical dude ever, but yeah, it was not a hard standard to maintain, I thought, especially compared to the Marines when I worked with them. It's like, I mean, they really ride you. But the Navy is like, you show up every 6 months, we don't care as long as you make it. But someone was asking earlier about Navy PT. Command PT is so non-existent in the Navy, at least when I left, and that was over 20 years. I never, just wasn't like departments would do it. You do it individually, and that's kind of it. There was no real strong push for it, other than my first captain on my first ship, because he was a fucking exercise fanatic. We actually did command PT at least once a week. So, all right, guys, it's starting to get late. So, I've been on for 80 minutes now. Hope you guys had a good time. And yeah, I'm going to cancel this. Thanks for everybody for all your questions. I had a good time. Killed my afternoon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And that's all Seaman's got. Peace, bitches.